So one of the most difficult things about writing an essay is the hardest paragraph is the introduction. So we can get discouraged right out of the gate because we have a hard time writing our introduction. But don't worry, if you follow this kind of simple formula, you should get your essay off to a great start and set yourself up for success in writing your body paragraphs. Now, before I even talk about what goes into the introduction, I want to remind you of a key thing. We need to have a plan, okay? When I mean a plan, I'm talking about something like our mind map or our web, where we have our central idea and our three supporting ideas, each with evidence attached to them. If I don't have this plan, writing the introduction is impossible, right? Because I don't know what I'm going to be talking about. And the whole point of the introduction is to tell people what I'm going to be talking about. So come up with some sort of a plan, even if you just scratch it down quickly, so you can assess, am I on the right track? Do I have my thesis? Do I have my three supporting ideas that all relate back to my thesis? From there, we can consider what we're going to put in our introduction. So an introduction is always going to start off with a hook, something to capture the reader's interest. Then we're going to narrow it from there, taking our hook and trying to explain to the reader the importance of our topic, the historical background, the significance of the issue, whatever it is we're talking about. We're then going to talk about our three individual body paragraph topics in very brief form, and we're going to finish off with our thesis statement, what our essay is actually talking about. What is our main idea? So what does that look like? Let's talk about it quickly. I want to start off with a hook. Okay, now a hook is something that captures the interest of our reader and sets the tone for the essay. Of course, my hook needs to be directly related to whatever it is that I am writing about. I'm not going to just, say something random for the sake of interesting my reader, getting my reader, and then talk about something completely different over the course of my essay. I want to start off with something engaging that relates to whatever it is I'm talking about. I'm not going to go through these in a lot of detail, but you do have access to the slideshow, so if you need more clarification, please check it out. So I can start off with an interesting question. People are inquisitive. They want to know more about a question. So again, with the novel, I might ask something like, do you believe that anyone should be able to get away with murder under any circumstances? It's a provocative question. I start with a strong statement like, there are murderers on the island, and we need to figure out who has done it. Again, drawing the reader in. A fact or a statistic. Over 90% of people who read Agatha Christie's novel, And Then There Were None, could not accurately guess the killer. A metaphor or simile. Reading Agatha Christie's book is like Christmas morning. You don't know what is going to happen next. You don't know what's in the boxes you're looking through. A story. Telling a story that somehow relates to what you're talking about. Once when I was young, I was walking down the street and I saw a person and I shoved them in front of a bus and they were instantly killed. I felt quite guilty. And to this day, I'm able to relate to the guilt the characters in And Then There Were None feel. Description. This is where I pick a scene. The scene is set. Vera and Philip are standing on the beach, Vera with the gun in her hand. Who would be the last one left on Soldier Island? Quotation. I can pick a quote from the book, especially effective with the book that we've just read. It appears to me that we are trapped on an island with a dangerous, homicidal lunatic. Again, whichever one you pick, I want to hook in the attention of the reader. From there, I am going to transition from whatever it is I used as my hook into introducing my three body paragraph topics. All right? So let's go back to this image that I was looking at here. Suppose my topic was honesty, okay, as a theme in the novel. Okay, and my first paragraph was going to be about how Armstrong was dishonest. My second paragraph was going to be about how Lombard was honest. And my third body paragraph was just about honesty in the real world. Okay? And I've used a quotation out of the gate that talks about how Dr. Armstrong has lied. I then want to try and explain the importance of my topic as a whole without really saying the topic specifically. So I might say something like, the quote above shows the important nature of honesty to humans, and it's no different in the novel, And Then There Were None. From there, I can then introduce each of my three body paragraphs in a sentence. I don't want to explain them here. I just want to introduce them. and I can finish off with my thesis. So going back to the diagram, all right, I've done my hook, I've narrowed my focus, I've introduced my 3 specific ideas that I'm going to talk about, again, in a sentence each, and then I'm going to finish with my thesis statement, what I am actually talking about, okay? So when I'm checking with my thesis, I want to make sure that my thesis is specific. It's encompassing only one idea. So honesty is an important theme in Agatha Christie's novel. That is specific. They know I'm going to talk about honesty. Saying there are many important ideas in Agatha Christie's novel, that's too vague. Okay? I want to use specific language. I want to take a stance. Okay? I want to, again, if I'm writing a persuasive essay, I want to take a stance. I don't want to say something like, this essay is about justice in the novel, and then there were none. I'm not taking a position there. Okay? I'm just saying what it's going to be about. There are different kinds of figurative language in and then there were none. That's not a stance. Okay? I then want to make sure that I've provided my 3 supporting arguments, which I should have done in the preceding sentences. Right? So what does that look like altogether? Here's an example. Okay, over 95% of the visitors to the Rocky Mountain Parks have remarked on their enjoyment of the astounding sights they encounter. So I've used a statistic hook. Okay, more and more people traveling worldwide each year. Promoting the upside of our parks is increasingly important to the financial well-being of our country. Again, I've shown the importance. Now I'm going to introduce my 3 topics. National parks are full of incredible natural wonders. The wildlife scattered throughout is awe-inspiring, and our infrastructure allows visitors to access sites without disturbing the environment. Those are going to be my 3 body paragraph topics. And then I finish it up with my thesis statement. Bringing tourists to Canada's mountain parks through promotion of their upside should be absolutely essential to any incoming federal government. So I'm going to be talking about how federal governments are needing to bring tourists to our national mountain parks. That is how to write an introduction in a very short form. Again, check out the resource material available to you. If you've got any questions, book a tutorial or come see me in class. Thanks for listening.